thank you everybody for joining today's Learning Series webinar. I'm Bryan Spano, Director of Product Development here at Sourcepass, and I'm joined by two of the people who were very integral in building this experience as well, Brittany and Rachel, which you'll meet very shortly. Today is all about our ticket board in Quest. It's a better home for the co-managed work your team does every day. The theme you'll hear throughout this presentation is pretty simple. It's more value, more control, and more scale. And over the next period of time or so, we'll cover why we're making this move, show you the board live, talk about what it means for your team day to day, where we're taking it next, and then introduce something that we're really excited about called Maggie. So, of course, introductions. Kat did that before, so I'll be really brief here. Brittany is our senior product manager. She's led the product vision behind this work. Rachel is our UX UI product designer, and she's been a big part of shaping the experience you're about to see. And between the three of us, we'll walk through the what, the why, the how, etc. And you'll hear directly from both Rachel and Brittany as we go. All right, let's talk about why we're here. So we'll start with why we're moving this experience from ConnectWise, our ERP, into Quest, right? So a lot of you have that experience today. Some of you don't. Some of you are starting with this fresh. Rachel's going to take us into a live demonstration of our ticket board, which is including how you're going to track your time directly on a ticket, as well as managing those tickets and also understanding the difference between what Sourcepass's tickets are and, of course, the R ticket board examples. So we'll step back and talk about what this means for your team day to day. I'll share where we're going to take that board next as well. And then Brittany's going to introduce Maggie, which is our new approach to ticket triage, which will close with your questions after that. So it's about 5 sections or so, and then some Q&A. So why are we doing this, right? So today, if you're a co-managed client of ours, your streamlined work lives on a board that's inside ConnectWise. It works, but it's siloed from the rest of your Sourcepass experience. So when a ticket moves to your board, you can lose visibility into it inside of Quest, which means bouncing between the tools, right? So you have limited insight into what's active or stalled. And it could take some manual effort to track and report on what your team is doing. So in Quest today, now, thanks to the R ticket board, that same board lives right alongside everything else you already use. Your tickets, your assets, users, all in one place. So you get far more flexibility to organize and view your own work. It's built to scale as your team and environment grow. So one important thing to be clear about, and this is what this box is at the bottom. So where we are today is a hybrid. So our ticket board in Quest still draws its content from ConnectWise behind the scenes. So nothing about how your tickets flow is changing today. Think of this as the first step. You're going to get the better experience in Quest immediately. And then over time, we'll transition the board fully into Quest. And I'll show you where that's heading a little bit later. So let me put the visibility gap in plain terms, because I think that's the heart of why we built this. So today, when a ticket moves onto your streamlined board in ConnectWise, it effectively disappears from your Quest view. So your team is logging into one system to see most things, and then a second system to see their own board, and switching back and forth all day. So the context switching is where things can get missed, where statuses might be not quite synergized and go stale, where reporting potentially becomes a manual chore. So bringing the board into Quest closes that gap. So it becomes one place, one view, everything your team touches. So I want to set expectations clearly so there's no surprises. Your co-managed engagement doesn't change. So how tickets route between your team and ours doesn't necessarily change. The people you work with doesn't change. And what changes is really where you do the work. And that's now sitting next to everything inside Quest. So I'm going to pass this over to Rachel. Because rather than just keep describing it, let me hand it to Rachel so she can give you that experience. So Rachel, just I'm passing it along to you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Brian. Let me go ahead and share my screen in just a second. But as a quick intro, my name is Rachel. I'm a UX UI designer here on the Sourcepass product development team, responsible for designing the user experience and the user interface of Quest. So like Brian mentioned, this ticket board section in Quest is really designed with the intent of visibility in mind for our co-managed clients. So they could have purview into the tickets they are overseeing, as well as the tickets that Sourcepass is managing for them. So when you're logged into Quest, you'll first want to head to the side navigation bar here, and you want to look under Service and Support for the section titled Our Ticket Board. Now, this ticket board will be enabled for client admins at your company, but regular end users won't be able to see this section in the Service and Support category. The board itself is composed of two different sections, two main tabs. We've got Tickets with Us and Tickets with Sourcepass. Tickets with Us allows you to see all the tickets you're working on for your company. And then Tickets with Sourcepass provides visibility into all the tickets that Sourcepass is managing for you. So first I'll kind of focus in on Tickets with Us, and then I'll dive into Tickets with Sourcepass. So in Tickets with Us in this section, there's a few different capabilities that you can do. First off, you can create a new ticket by hitting this new ticket button here, and you can tailor those tickets to hit your ticket board specifically rather than Sourcepass's ticket board, if that's something you prefer. You can also search for tickets using our search bar right here, and you can search either by text or by ticket ID/ticket number. Other items that you can do here, you can adjust the view of the tickets in this table by filtering them. So you can do filtering by status, you can do filter by priority, like high, medium, low. If you want to see tickets that are high priority, you can go ahead and do that there. You can also filter tickets by ticket age, so the minimum number of hours or the maximum number of hours, as well as who is assigned to the ticket, the specific technician that's being assigned to it, the contact, as well as last update. And one thing to note about these filters is that these filters will retain their selections even after you move to different screens. So you just want to make sure to click the X icon here off to the right to make sure you clear those filters if you don't want them anymore. Now, the next important area in this section is the Actions button, and that is this drop-down menu over here that says Actions. So the first thing you'll see is that some of these items are disabled, and they'll become enabled once you start clicking on specific tickets. So you can select multiple tickets as a bulk action, or you can select one ticket for more of an individual action. Now, after selecting the tickets, you'll see that these items all become enabled in the Actions drop-down menu. And we offer different capabilities like exporting in CSV or Excel format right over here. But you can also do some other ticket-related actions, such as updating a ticket, following a ticket, or grouping a ticket. So when updating a ticket, I'll just kind of click on that and show you what it looks like here briefly. So when updating a ticket, you can update the assigned technician. If you want to change that individually, you can do that there. You can also select the priority. So if it's critical, high, medium, low, you can specify that in this section. You can also choose the type, subtype, as well as item. And there's a bit of a waterfall process from type to subtype to item. So you want to start by selecting a type first and then kind of move down and the other options become enabled. And then the last thing you can adjust here is the status section as well. So all of those updates are possible in this section right here. Now, the other functionality that I wanted to call out is the ability to follow tickets. So you can stay on top of tickets, receive notifications every time there's an update. You would just click follow, and then you would get this toast notification indicating that those tickets, you're following them now. Now, the other thing, I'll select some multiple tickets here. Group tickets is the sort of last functionality that you'll notice here in the Actions panel. And for grouping tickets, you can select multiple tickets in the table, and then you'll want to make sure you select the parent tickets. So from this grouping of 3 tickets, I'll just select one of these, and we'll confirm that as the parent ticket there. So adjustments to the parent ticket will also notify ticket owners of the children tickets as well. So those notifications are going across, and you'll see that here. If you click this little arrow, you'll notice in the drop-down, these are the children tickets here. Now, if you wish to ungroup any of the tickets, you would just have to notify the Sourcepass team. Now I'll dive a little bit deeper into the specific ticket detail screen. So I'll just kind of click on one of these tickets here. And this should be a relatively familiar screen that you might have seen before. And it's very similar to what you can find under View Tickets, especially when you click into a specific ticket itself. You'll have access to 3 different tabs: Conversation, Attachment, and Internal Notes. Now the Conversation tab should feel similar. It shows messages between the technician and the user. The Attachment section, this one doesn't have any, but basically would show related images and files. And the last one being Internal Notes, which this is not visible for the end users, but you can exchange notes privately with your IT team in this space. Ticket Properties also has an update now as well. It's similar to what you might have seen before. You can see like ticket number and things like that, but now you also have some edit capabilities to the metadata that lives in here. So you can come in and change the priority if you want. You can change the status, type, subtype, as well as item. So you can kind of go through all these interactions here in the drop-down menus. And you can also change that status, like I mentioned. So I'll just say something like in progress. And these changes will reflect in ConnectWise too, so it's synced up live and updated in real time. Now, if I move a little bit further down off to the right here, you'll notice there's a time entry section. And this is a space designed for your company's technicians to come in and log their time on tickets. You can specify the time zone, so I'll just put Pacific Standard Time, that's what I'm in. And you can just add start and end times to log the time in that specific ticket. So I'll just say something like started at 7 a.m. and then ended, let's just say like 1 p.m. and I'll click add time. And then it'll log like 6 hours right there. All right, moving further along, we've got a manage user section here. And what's new in this section is that there's an assign technician button. And this pops open a modal and you can assign and select from a list of available technicians that you want to work on this ticket specifically. So you would do that here. So that's it for tickets with us. I'll tab over real quickly to tickets with Sourcepass. And this is basically similar in the sense that you've got a table layout as well. And you have similar visibility to tickets, but these are all tickets that Sourcepass technicians are currently managing. So in this table, you can view where the ticket is sitting in regard to which Sourcepass team it's with. You can also see the ticket's priority, the age and hours, the assigned technician, the primary contact, and a quick summary of the ticket details as well. Now, this section doesn't have as many actions available as the Tickets with Us tab, since Sourcepass has ownership of these tickets in particular, but you still get a lot of visibility into what's going on with these tickets as well. So that's an overview of both of these tabs here and how they operate. But one last thing I want to show you too is some of our customization capabilities. So under that same actions button down here, you will see that there's a functionality called Edit Board Settings. And in this space, you can make adjustments to the density preferences of the tables. So this will adjust how many rows or like items that you're seeing. If you want to see more content and materials at once, you could do more of a compact view, or if you want more white space, you could go for a cozy feel. And on top of that, you can also adjust which ticket types, subtypes, as well as items you want to view. So if there are a lot of types that you aren't interested in seeing, or it provides too much noise, you can remove them by unchecking the box here. And this also applies to statuses down here. So you can pare down the status list if there are some statuses that you don't typically use, and you just want a more streamlined, simplified view. You could do that here as well. So in these different ways, you can sort of customize the view and experience to your liking. So yeah, that's an overview of our ticket board feature in Quest that we're super excited to be sharing with everyone on this call. But if you ever need a refresher at any point on how to use this section, you're always welcome to watch a recording of this training like Bryan mentioned. But we also have some additional resources. We've got a guided modal that will appear shortly after the launch of the feature, and it provides some context and basic guidelines for how to use this section. And we've also got this help icon off to the right. And actually this help icon is present on almost all the core sections of Quest, which includes a video and written resource detailing how to use that specific section that you're on.
One thing to kind of just piggyback on what Rachel was talking about, one of the the benefits of things is that we have that flexibility of giving you some helpful ways to understand these tools, right? So from the perspective of our ticket board, for example, Rachel mentioned the help icon, which will provide you with not just an article, but a lot of times in most cases, and this exists throughout Quest, is helpful video training. So if you have any concerns or understanding about where to go and how that feature would work, you're welcome to always hop in there and navigate through that. That's really important that flexible option is available. If you have any questions also, you can always email us or call your CS. They're all trained in how to use this platform, so you'll have an understanding of what next steps there are there. So again, just kind of piggybacking off of this, just stepping back from the way things work, just talking about what it really means for the team. So it's three things, right? You own your IT. You can manage tickets and work directly without waiting on Sourcepass to get visibility as to what's happening. You're in the driver's seat there. It's built to scale. So as your environment gets more complex and your team grows, the board grows with you. You're not going to outgrow it. And third, it drives better conversations. So because you're tracking your time right on the board, potentially your QBRs and planning conversations with us are based on real data instead of guesswork. So you'll know where your effort is actually going. So, and this is the why it matters, right? So on owning the IT, today a lot of co-managed teams have to ask us for a status update, potentially wait for reporting, just to know where things stand on their own tickets. With the board and Quest, that information is right in front of you in real time. You're not dependent upon us for visibility into your own work. You're self-serving it whenever you can. On the scale side, we deliberately built this so that it doesn't break as you grow. So whether you're doubling your head count, hopefully, adding locations, hopefully, or your ticket volume climbs, the board and the view scales with you. So you won't hit a ceiling and have to change the way you work. And on the data, this is the one I'd underline because time is captured directly on the ticket. So when we sit down for your QBR or planning conversation, we're both looking at the real numbers, where actually effort went, what's consuming your capacity, where it might make sense to do some adjustments. So that meaning that those meetings then become from anecdote into real evidence, and that's genuinely better from both sides. So the theme really is about more ownership, not more work. You get more control without really adding overhead. So let's talk about where the R ticket board is headed, right, from a roadmap perspective. So fully Quest based, right? So remember I said today is hybrid, still drawing from ConnectWise behind the scenes. Over time, we're moving our ticket board entirely into Quest, so ConnectWise is no longer needed for this at all. That's the shift that unlocks the rest of things, right? So once your data lives natively in Quest, you can get that reporting that's truly yours. So the richer insight, you have your dashboard reporting that currently only has the focus directly towards Sourcepass focused ticketing, because that data lives for us, right? But once you have that data enabled inside Quest, you also have that reporting that's truly yours. So that's the insight that you need that becomes richer. It's tied directly to your time tracking without us in the middle. And just to keep you in as an understanding, a lot of these features and a lot of these choices all came from conversations with clients, right? Understanding from a perspective of feedback, what value are we adding, right? So that beta program stays open. So if any of you are interested in that, if you're not a part of it, you should definitely become a part of it. It stays open, and honestly, the direction here is being shaped by, like I was saying, clients like you. So tell us what's working, what isn't, that for you that will assist us in generating and adjusting and directing our roadmap. And more broadly, more of your IT experience comes to, as a result of that, comes together in one home in Quest. So from a sequencing perspective, just clarifying again, today's hybrid, the board in Quest, content still coming from ConnectWise. That's intentional. It gives us the better experience now safely without disrupting anything, while we do the deeper work to make Quest the full system of record. When that's done, ConnectWise simply isn't necessarily the picture for your board anymore, and that's when reporting becomes richer. So we're not putting a hard date on that today for you, but certainly it's coming soon. But the direction is firm, and we'll move deliberately, with the beta group certainly helping us prove along the way every day. It is a journey, and you'll see it get better steadily, not all at once, but which is a perfect segue into something new that I want to introduce. So I want to introduce you to Maggie. Maggie's our reinvented way of handling ticket triage. She's on the roadmap for the experience you've been seeing today. Maggie's an AI-powered assistant that makes getting support dramatically simpler. So instead of hunting for the right form, your users just describe their issue in their own words. Maggie triages it. It will add some proper technician-style required follow-up questions and creates a ticket that's routed to the right place automatically. So she's designed to save your users time, get to their resolution faster. So if you think about the typical experience today, a user has a problem. They stare at a list of form questions, trying to guess which, well, certainly the first is the list of forms about which one might fit best. They fill it out. Half the time it lands to us missing the details we actually need. So we have to go back and ask a lot of questions. Maggie flips that around. What she does is the user just says what's wrong in plain language. The Maggie does the thinking about what to ask, where it should go, fill out the appropriate fields about what's already been answered. It's faster, less frustrating for your people, and it means better quality tickets reaching whoever picks them up. So to be clear on this, from the perspective of where this sits, Maggie's on the roadmaps for this experience. The expectation is for delivery this within the next few days. So we're expecting that to be toggled to you. And it's the kind of thing that gets a lot more powerful as the board becomes fully native in Quest as well, from an our ticket board perspective. So, and again, from the people that we have that are very strong in helping us build this, Brittany has been leading this work and is going to show you exactly how it works. So Brittany, passing it over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany. I'm the Senior Product Manager here, supporting Quest. I'm going to share my screen now and show you how to navigate Maggie. So let me get in here. Hopefully you guys can see this. So once we enable this for you, you'll see it under Get Support. So this is the current legacy Get Support. Once we turn this on, by default, Maggie will be on, but I wanted to show you the specific feature in case you wanted to divert and go back to the regular request form flow that you guys are all familiar with. If you were to turn off legacy mode, you will see Maggie every time you go in to Get Support, and she can either help you with a new issue or continue with an existing issue. So as far as continuing with an existing issue, Maggie can help you with updating a ticket that you might be currently working on. So if I was to click on any of these tickets here, you just tell her, and you can also type it in as well, but we added this simple UI to support like most recent tickets. And then she'll specifically ask you here, like, do you want to put in an update? If you were to put in an update with Maggie today, she'll just update the discussion note of the ConnectWise ticket. If this ticket is with Sourcepass, Sourcepass would be notified. If this ticket is with your co-managed company under our ticket board, your co-managed company would be notified using the regular workflows that ConnectWise uses today. If you were to go in and do a new issue, Maggie can support you the exact same way. So the best way to describe it here is Maggie can do a request form today. So I know a lot of you guys have worked tirelessly with the Sourcepass team to create onboarding request forms. Maggie can still support those request forms. So if you were to just ask her, add a new user, she'll find the onboarding form that you have with Sourcepass, if you have one. If not, she will just divert and ask you a basic set of questions based off of her parameters. This one, she's grabbing the Quest demo add new user request form, and she's starting off the flow by asking the employee's full name. And then as you respond, she'll continue to ask you a multitude of questions, and then she'll provide you a summary. So we'll say that this user is starting tomorrow. And we have little UI elements within Maggie just to make it easier and more understanding of specifically what is required for you here. So if I was to put in something that did not support an email address, she would kick back and say, hey, we need a valid email address. So in this instance, I supplied that for her, and she'll continue on to the next question. This question here will be supplied at every single request that you ask. So is there anyone you'd like to add to this ticket? This specific feature allows you to CC users on the ticket that you're generating, whether that's with your co-managed company or with Sourcepass. So if you do have anyone within your company you want to add to the ticket, you would just supply Maggie with first and last name, or you can just drop their email address in here and she'll be able to collect both of them. And then she'll provide you a summary. So this is coming directly from the request form add new user. This is the request form that is assigned to Quest Demo, like I mentioned before. There's no added users, so she will leave that disabled. And then these are the questions that are set up in the admin mode under requests form, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with how we set up questions and request forms. So she made sure to fill out all of this. I'll review it, and then I would just submit the ticket. The ticket is now going to be generated, and Maggie is done with her triage flow. I do want to say that at some point or another, we have not determined as a product team when we're removing the legacy mode. That's not currently in the roadmap right now. But I do want to preface that we do still have access to request forms. So if you do go into Maggie and you're like, I don't want to do an AI triage walkthrough at any point, you can click view all request forms, and this will bring you to all the request forms that your company currently has access to. So we definitely didn't want to block that in any way. And now you'll see that the ticket is generated, the last update. If you go into view tickets or our ticket board, for you guys, our ticket board, because Maggie is connected directly with the Streamline board, you'll see right here, the one that I just submitted lands on your board. So another thing to keep aware of as you step into that co-managed experience, you can set certain request forms that Maggie can fill out on behalf of the user, and you can assign them to go to your ticket board by default, keeping that full loop that no matter what, your day-to-day users can come into Quest, submit requests specifically to your company or Sourcepass, depending on their needs. But that pretty much covers Maggie. We're excited to get her released, and you guys will see more communication coming forward once we do the full release. And any questions, you can always reach out to the product team going forward. And Brian, I'll pass it back to you.
Just to continue on here, I think that we know that Maggie comes really down to two simple paths, right? So first is creating that new issue. User tells Maggie what's going on in plain language. Here's the part that I really want to emphasize. Maggie asks the same detailed questions a skilled technician would ask. So the specifics we really actually need to solve the issue, or at least to keep things moving along very appropriately. So instead of a ticket coming in that just says my email is broken, Maggie draws out the who, the what, everything else, right? So what's been tried up to that point. That means tickets arrive pretty complete. We're not going back and forth with your user to get the basics. So you have that flexibility and opportunity to be able to do that, and resolution times improve as a result of that. So also, if there's a relevant form that's very detailed, customized, that we've already put in place, we're not trying to adjust by kind of having Maggie relearn what you've already been asking. She guides them through it and also gathers what else is needed in conversation. And before anything is submitted, again, the user, as Brittany showed, gets a preview to review and confirm. No real surprises there. And certainly on the second pathway, which is the continued and existing issue, Maggie shows the open tickets on the account. User is able to choose and review the conversation history and add updates directly air in chat. Everyone stays aligned on the latest there. So the bottom line is less time hunting for the right form, more complete tickets, faster, better routed support. So let's talk a little bit about, before we wrap the Maggie section, certainly, let's talk a little bit about where she's headed, right? Because this is the part that certainly gets exciting for what always is to come for new additions to Quest, but certainly on the Maggie side of things. She gets smarter the more context she has, and there are 3 big things coming on the roadmap. So to be clear, none of this is live yet with this version, but this is the direction. So first, it's ingesting your knowledge base. So as your knowledge base articles are placed into Quest, which you have that flexibility today to build out your knowledge base solution. So if you're using that, there's value because Maggie will have that ingestion. You can ask her questions, and as your team gets more value out of the knowledge base that you've already built or that you continue to build with real adoption, and Maggie gets better understanding those issues and curating the right questions to ask based upon your knowledge base. So in addition to that, secondarily, she will have an ingestion of your service ticket history. So by learning from your company's and users' past tickets, Maggie can tailor her questions to the things that actually come up in your environment. So her triage gets more and more relevant over time. Past potential solutions, also providing you with those, suggesting that there's opportunities to not necessarily solve on your own, but certainly give all the information to help you there, right? And certainly helps technicians understand the history. And third, it's an AI review of attachments, right? So when a user attaches a screenshot or a document, Maggie will be able to review it, factor that in, and ask questions based upon what she's receiving in terms of those documents to be able to get sharper, more complete, and then as a result, make things more appropriate for the end user and also for the service technician. So, but the common thread across this is that it's question curation. So every one of these makes Maggie better at asking the right things up front, which makes and means more complete tickets, faster resolutions. It's why we think that Maggie only gets more valuable the longer you use her. So appreciate everybody jumping in here and understanding the 2 major pieces of release that we expect to have this week. So again, our ticket board brings you your co-managed work into Quest, more value and more control, more scale. It's a hybrid today, still drawing from ConnectWise behind the scenes, and is moving fully into Quest over time. And Maggie is going to make getting support faster, easier, and with more complete tickets and less back and forth. If you're already using the board, take a look at what's new this week. If you're new to it, reach out to your client success manager and we'll get you set up. And as for anything else today, certainly from our team, we'd love to hear from you. And obviously there's a survey coming from Kat. She's going to be sending that out pretty shortly. But also, you can email us at platform@sourcepass.com if you're looking for whether you want to communicate, get involved in the beta. If you're looking to have questions about how things function, you can certainly speak to your CSM, but you can reach out to us directly in product by platform@sourcepass.com. But thank you. Wanted to also leave it open if you had any questions. Certainly on the Q&A side, I think there were a couple that received earlier we answered, but just wanted to make sure if there was anything else that was needed, certainly willing to help out and answer any questions that you might have. See anything at the moment. And again, the roadmap items, we don't have a timeline specifically on them yet, but they are coming pretty soon. We've been in development for a while on this. Maggie has been being perfected over the course of time, so she has a good amount of love behind her. So and we'll continue to have that over time. Again, the legacy piece is also consistently available to you in case you had any questions about being able to access it and toggle back and forth. You have that option both on Maggie, where the legacy mode exists, and also to continue to use the ConnectWise under our ticket board. So you don't necessarily aren't being forced into either of these at the moment. That's not what we're trying to do. Hybrid model at first. Want safety. Wants certainly not to rock the boat for anybody who has processes that they're working through very comfortably at the moment. But we do want to advise and certainly get people an understanding about what's to come. And these pieces are certainly being worked on and a big piece of our investment this year and ongoing. Okay. I think that may be all. I don't see any questions here today, but again, reach out at any time. Kat will be sending over the survey when we're all finished up here. But appreciate everybody's time here working through it, listening to us demonstrating these two features. Reach out anytime you have questions.